Sport fans, I'm Michael Sakala.
And I'm Brandon Wickard.
And how the hell are you feeling, huh?
I'm feeling pretty good. We're back live at Bellacino's.
It's been
Home of
a
the
while.
grinder and the pizza.
It's been a while.
We've had conflicting schedules here, which blew us right through the World Series.
Well, I gotta tell you, going to those London games are killing us. I gotta tell you right now, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess let's start it off with, and I got this. I mean, I'm thinking, you know, how about your Cubbies, huh? Come on.
Michelle, is he always that annoying? No,
Yes, he is. Fucking right, he is. How about your Cubs, huh? 108 years, and they did it
It's
in
finally
great
over.
fashion, huh?
It was finally over, yes. It was a good series between two good teams. I am not going to go the other way, though. I would not be celebrating if Cleveland won. Apparently, Cleveland's celebrating that we won. But
I think we had a great series. I mean, because obviously I'm not a Cubs fan. I'm not an Indians fan. I did want the Cubs kind of win. I mean, like a lot of us, whatever, with the whole 108 years.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, we had 7 games. That's all everybody
Yes.
wants. You want 7 games, and you want them to. Now, the first couple games, blowouts, whatever. But that game 7, let's be honest, that game was pretty.
You are right. It's something that went across the United States. You know, it wasn't just the Chicago
I think it
Ohio
was.
thing. You know.
You had two teams fighting it. They were fighting
Right.
on 7. That was fights. That's all we ever asked. We just want fights. We want 2 teams that went putting it all out there, you know, and they're going to fight this game out. And like, you know, the notes I got on here, 40 million viewers. I mean, people are finally watching baseball again. And there's only one reason why they were watching it. Cubs. The Cubs pulled it in, man. It's all about the Cubs, man. Everybody wanted to see that. You know, they're down 3-1. You think it's over, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, they fight back. And it's unreal, man. How about your boy? Now, do you think Ben was the MVP of that series?
Ben's over shit. I
What could it
don't have an argument with that at all.
No, I mean, I looked at it up. He batted 357, 2 doubles. He had a triple, and he knocks in the go-ahead game-winning run.
Something he did all year. You know, when in the clutch, he came through when they needed him.
And how cool is it? He's won the World Series now twice
2 years in a row.
I mean, how sweet is that? Great.
Very nice.
If anybody's out there, I would think about picking him up if you want to win the World Series next year. Put him on your team.
He's a Cub for a few years now. But when they got that pickup to start the season, that was one big one. And then, to me, the nailer was getting Chapman later on. Just like Cleveland got Miller. You know,
Yeah.
so same effect.
Now, I do think, like I was just saying a couple seconds ago, I do think some of the keys, I think Kluber was tired, but at the end of the day, the Cubs won the way they've been doing all year. Those bats from top to bottom, they're just nasty. I mean, everybody on that team can hit.
If he was tired, then we'll have to take a notch out of Terry Francona's belt. They should have been pitching him every 3 days.
No, I mean, tired or not, I don't think it would have mattered who
Down to
pitched.
the end. I mean,
I think that team wears down and beats down pitchers. They from, like I said, from top to bottom, everybody can hit the friggin' ball there.
So give me your other complaint. Go ahead. You were on board with the
I wonder if Madden should have left Henderson in. I mean, the way he was pitching, I mean, the guy wasn't giving up shit. I don't know if he was worth it.
I heard some of those people on MLB talking about that, and all I'm going to say is Joe Madden's a coach, and he won 103 games. I don't have to say anything else.
I think Bryant's base running was unbelievable. That slide in the beginning of the game to score that run, magnificent. Like I was saying, him and I can't remember the dude's name from Colorado. It's 1 or 2 either way. I think they're the best. I think they're the best third basemen in the game right now. I think Chapman was a little low in the tank, but he got it done when needed to be. And then what? There was 5 million people apparently at the parade.
There was 5 million people, and it's strange. It's like the 7th largest gathering of people in the history of the world. I mean, as far as keeping somewhat modern statistics, you know.
I wonder how many
5 million people together in one place.
Do you think people actually called out sick, or just basically said, "I'm going to the parade"? What do you think?
I was hearing that a lot of people called out sick.
I mean,
like there was a school out in Naperville. They were saying over 50% of the teachers called out sick.
Of course, how could you not?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, what a way to finish a season, finish a year in baseball. I think baseball, it was a good year, great playoffs. I think from top to bottom, the playoffs, and then to go to 7 games and to end it the way it did. I mean, what else can you say?
But I was glad to see that we're more important than Rod Stewart. he had the 3.5 million gathering. We had 5 million. So
Rod, look, was he singing his love songs? You gotta love him, don't you? Gotta love him. Now, as we started the stinker of the week, and this stinker, I'm telling you right now, I don't know if you're gonna agree with me or not.
Monday night for me.
This stinker of the week, I kind of put this like, it's like kissing your cousin. It feels good, but you just know it's wrong. For the consecutive week in a row, we had a tie in football. This past week, Redskins-Bengals 27-27. Week before, Seahawks and Cardinals. I know it's not a trend and it's not going to, but don't you think, do we need to at least change the rules? It's not a big deal, but do we change the rules so we don't have ties anymore?
Run your machine again. I wasn't even close to this stinker of the week. I have no problem with a tie. What I do have a problem with is idiots claiming they didn't know you could still tie a game. There's nothing wrong with that, really. I never minded it the old way, but apparently network TV
Oh, what, you mean the sudden death?
doesn't want the game to go on any longer. No, if it were to stay tied at the end of that quarter, you start another one. Well, they stop that because you can't have a football game last that long.
You just keep playing. Well, I came up with a couple different ideas.
My stinker was the Bears Viking game, and the stinker was obviously the Vikings. They stunk the whole stadium up.
See, now,
Chicago was happy, but
was it the fact that the Vikings stunk up the
Vikings
field?
stunk.
Or, and I was going to
Don't
bring it up.
don't give me some crap about the
Cutler
quarterback.
looked good, man.
Quarterback with a bad thumb, hasn't played in 8 weeks, comes off the bench because the other one's injures his shoulder and does that.
Cutler
Not
showed-
playing any contact football.
When he feels like playing, he's pretty damn good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, but how about this for some rule changes?
He was playing against a defense that apparently has run and hide over the past 2-3
yeah.
weeks.
No,
That came out phenomenal. Now they
I think it was a divisional game, and they showed that the Vikings offense is just wearing down their defense on the field too.
what it did prove out is it showed that my original thoughts about Sam Bradford is true. He's just an average quarterback.
He's all right. He's a fill-in. But like you said, one thing is, do they just keep playing till someone wins, or, and this is crazy, they won't do it. Do you go to the college rules after? No, you first play your first quarter.
You just like all the other people. You want to change everything. Sometimes
Or,
it don't work.
or do we go like hockey, we go into a shootout? To me, this would be kind of cool. You get the ball on the 2-point conversion, on the 2.5 foot line. You get 4 plays. And how many times you can score in those 4 plays, then the other team goes. Just like in hockey with shootouts. I mean, it would be kind of exciting. Plus, it would stop this whole thing with ties. And we're not going to have a lot of them because I have a hard time believing there's going to be a lot of ties. We've only had 5 since, 2012. There's only been 5 ties. So it's not like this is going to happen on a regular basis. It's just odd that we had back-to-back weeks with ties.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next commissioner of football here. You'll be changing the rules every week.
No, yeah, and I'm taking the helmets off. No more weapons. There will be no more concussions because you guys will be wearing leather helmets if I get to be commissioner.
You can slap each other in the head.
And I'm
with
pushing for
stitches.
gambling. And if I get to be commissioner, I'm pushing for legalizing gambling in the NFL as well. Now, what did we learn in week 8? What did you learn?
The Vikings defense is not what it was. It really helped the Bears out, obviously, for that division win, but it didn't really change anything in that. I was going to say something really good about the Raiders, but it still goes back to what we've already said. They still won the same way, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They did not overpower somebody, and this is the week we're going to find out, because this is a big division matchup in Denver. Or, well, actually, they're at home. Denver's going there, but it's going to be a big game. But let's see, the Vikings defense and the Eagles. The Eagles actually performed well in the game that you went to. They made some mistakes in the end. That's how they lost. Let's see, there was one more I was looking at. Kansas City, hanging around, playing football, playing good football. But But Smith goes down with a concussion and Foles comes off the bench to be a hero.
Comes out of nowhere. I don't know.
That was kind of amazing.
I didn't get that either.
Same thing with Cutler. I mean, just dead coming off the bench.
Some of the things I learned is the Brady's are 7-1, and again, for whatever reason, still look like the team. They still look like the team to beat. The Seahawks, to me, I think are they missing Skittles? Is it time to call?
Yeah.
Is it time to call Lynch and say, hey,
Their
you want to come
quarterback
back?
has been hurt.
I mean,
It's not the same.
last week they only had 74 total yards in rushing, and Wilson had 11 of them, and they lost to the Saints.
Well, he
who
can't
suck.
even run anymore right now with his leg problem.
I learned that despite the physical play of football, Superman still was able to figure out a way to win against the Cardinals. And what's up with both these teams? Panthers 2-5, Cardinals are 3-4-1 because they have a tie. What's going on with these two teams?
God, they have a tie.
You know, we got a returning super team that went to the Super Bowl and a team that apparently was going to the Super Bowl, and they both basically shit the bed.
All I gotta say about your girl, your super girl, is I think she's gonna hang up her cleats because they're hitting her too hard.
And then one thing I did learn, and I tried to post as much as I possibly can, going to the game live and going to that stadium and to that state, etc., was absolutely phenomenal. It was unreal. It was, and to go to the game, being a fan the way I am, as long as I've been a fan, to go to that game, to have the game played away, because the Eagles outplayed them that whole game till the end. And to win the way they did, can you write a better script than that? I mean, that's the whole guy. That was a huge win for them. They're freaking 6-1. How about the freaking Cowboys?
Everybody knows, it's Jerry's world.
And it is. It's huge.
They have concerts there, college football games, even some high school football games. I mean, he's done the right thing there. Now if the Cowboys can just play football in it, it'd be all right.
I'll tell you what. Like I posted. At night, the place looks like the Death Star. It's unreal how freaking big and obnoxious the place is. But it's
and
the
ladies and
team.
gentlemen, the Super Bowl champion Cowboys, because that's what we do here. We announce before.
No,
they get the Browns this week.
No, they're not Super Bowl champs or not. But I'll tell you what, going to a live game, I haven't been, I haven't traveled
They get
to
the
all the
Browns
stadiums.
this week, Cleveland Browns.
That game is good. But somebody's got to play them.
And it's you this week.
But like I said, what do you think? And lastly, like I said, the last thing I learned was when the guy feels like playing freaking football, Cutler's not a bad guy. I mean, he went 20 for 31, 252 yards, had a touchdown. The guy, it's a shame. The guy's an up and down freak, man. It's a shame he just doesn't want to play football.
I
And then I guess, like I
Cutler was a good
said, thanks to the
quarterback.
Bear defense, they had 5 sacks on him, and they only allowed 57 yards rushing.
That was the main thing. Bears defense turning down Bradford.
Now, a little crazy news. How about the Eagles cutting Josh Huff? Apparently, he gets pulled over and arrested he had a concealed weapon. It was licensed in the state of Texas, but apparently it's not honored in New Jersey. And his quote was, he feels he needs to protect his wife, his son, his family, and obviously, I guess, his drugs, his marijuana, and that's why he carries his gun, because a lot of guys in the NFL carry guns. Did you see this, knucklehead?
I didn't see the report.
Yeah,
I know that they're trying to change that where if you have a law like you have in Texas where you're allowed to do that, they're trying to make it statewide, nationwide, so you don't cross over somebody else's jurisdiction and have something like that happen to you.
Well,
in this country we are now guilty until proven innocent, so
Well,
they probably did the right thing.
Here's my question. I don't have a gun. I've shot a gun once in my life. I don't know any of the rules. If your gun's licensed, let's just say in this situation in Texas, and you transfer and you come to another state, do you register it or something? Don't you like go to the police and say, listen,
You're already registered. When you buy it, you have to register it.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if it's common sense, if you're somewhat of a normal citizen, I don't know. Do you go to, if you don't know, do you go to the place? Do you go to the police station and say, listen, I don't know the rules. I got a concealed weapon, license, blah blah blah. How does
He
it
should have
work?
been smart enough to do that. But like, if he still lives in Dallas, or Dallas, wherever in Texas, like he made his home in Philly because that's where they play and that's where they're living.
Well, that's where he lives. I don't know if he plays because he's not that good. He sucks.
He caught a touchdown pass here or there, but I mean, yeah, he should. The fact that he has a gun, he should know the rules.
And I would think,
or he could have went to somebody who does in that area to tell him.
And you would have to think if
I really don't give a crap about some eagle carrying a firearm.
But if you do the arithmetic, drunk, 11 o'clock or whatever it is in the morning, you got a gun and you got marijuana, that usually is going to equal something bad. I know personally, I've drunk, I've never had the gun part, but I know when you put all that stuff together, usually you're going to get in trouble. That's usually what happens.
And that's something that happens in the NFL on a constant basis.
Because that's how they roll. It's how these brothers
I got it's another division game. Of course, we never know how they go. Pittsburgh and the Ravens.
Yep.
I'm going Ravens.
I lost.
And the other real intriguing game to me is obviously Denver and the Raiders.
Mhm.
It's a chance for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Once again, remember they had their chance 3-4 weeks ago.
Yes.
I forget who they were playing to what do I want to say? Put themselves on the map or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they blew it. It's another chance. The one thing that's going to help them is that the Broncos don't have a super high-powered offense. I mean, their quarterback's
Yeah.
still
Yeah, that's true.
he's still
Yeah.
learning. They still have a good running game, and they have their awesome defense. So, how much can the QB affect? It seems like every QB that plays against Denver has a low rating. I just don't know. And the fact that the Raiders haven't played any D, it just seems like if they could stop Denver from running, they got a chance to win the game. You would think.
Yeah.
But then you have the Denver defense.
Well,
I just don't see it as a high-scoring game. I really didn't want to pick a winner. I would like to see the Raiders because that would be a statement game for them in a sense, But I think the Broncos will win.
Yeah.
Win it out in the end, just on defense.
I love the fact that the Oakland Raiders are now part of the game of the week. I mean, it's been a long time since you could say
Right.
game of the week in Oakland Raiders. I agree with you. You got this high-powered offense up against this, stout defense, and which one's going to prevail? I did hear an interesting statistic. I guess the Raiders are actually better on the road than they are at home, so I guess that doesn't help them.
Yeah,
The fact
they're
they're
home.
playing at home. What I see this game is going to be, it's going to be a very exciting game. There's going to be, we know our boy, he's going to call that 4th and short play. They're going to go for it. Whether or not they'll make it, who knows? We'll have to wait and see for all that. I think though at the end of the game, defense wins. I got the Broncos winning that one, 27-25. I think it's going to be a close, exciting game. But I just like the fact that the Raiders are actually significant. They're playing. Here we are, week 9, and they're game of the week, and they're both 6-2 for the division. That's nice. Because they're a fun team to watch. What about this? Another great NFC matchup. You got the Birds traveling to the GMET to go to that game's always a good game. These two always hit each other. I mean, it's your typical division rival. These two though, they always have great games. There's always some kind of crazy ass play at the end that decides which one of them wins. I mean, to me, I think the Birds are going to bounce back. Their defense is going to get to Eli. They're going to force a couple plays, and they're going to force a couple problems for Eli, maybe an interception or two. I do see, though, Beckham, he will be on the sidelines, beating the shit out again of the kicking net. I am going with the Birds on this. They're going to win this game by 3.
That was the other one that's really close. Believe it or not, the Giants being at home, they're actually giving them almost the whole thing. They're giving them 2.5. If the Eagles defense doesn't get back on the track that it was earlier, I see the Giants winning, actually.
Well, like I said, I was there. Their defense was all over the Cowboys. It's just that towards the end, they kind of fell apart. I don't know.
This game will be the 3rd straight week in a row that the Eagles have played somebody that has just come off a bye.
Yeah.
So, the advantage to coming off a bye, you know what I'm saying?
And this game I've already lost, and it hasn't even been played yet because I was going to go with the fact that Big Ben's back. I seen him. My thought was pass. He was going to have a huge game.
Hey.
I was thinking 450, 4 to 5 touchdowns. The Bird would win by 10, but since you took the Ravens,
There's no doubt in my mind, believe me, that after not playing and him getting his knee all braced up and everything, he could come in and do something like that. I'm banking on the fact that he's not ready. He's going to look not sharp, but he can pull a Cutler.
I'm also looking forward to the shootout with the Colts heading to Green Bay. I think that game's going to be unbelievable. I see both these two just getting crazy, 300-plus yards, couple touchdowns between the two of them. Unfortunately, though, I think the Packers have a little bit better defense than the Colts, and I do see them squeaking this one out like a 45-42 victory.
I don't know about
I'm going
that.
all crazy. Yeah, because neither one of them have defense. They don't play defense.
I agree, I have a better D, but I didn't agree with the point spread. They're giving me 7 at home. I thought that was kind of high.
That's weak. And then lastly, I got another hard-hitting NFC West team is going up against Superman, and
I was waiting for you to get there.
The thing is, what I know I'm looking forward to is going to be the outrageous post-game interview where he'll be in some kind of crazy outfit and he will be complaining again that he's getting hit too many times, he's getting hit too hard, because we know the Rams, one thing they got a really tough, hard-hitting defense. and they're going to hit the hell out of him, because there's going to be a play where he's going to roll out, run out of the pocket, he's going to get hit freaking hard, and he's going to complain that the refs didn't call it, he's too young, he's too this, he's too that. At the end of the day, I got the Rams winning this by 5, but we will have a great post-interview where it'll be one of his crazy little outfits again complaining that he's getting hit too freaking hard.
The Rams do have a formidable front. You're right. Maybe we won't see him at the press conference because he'll be knocked out of the game. We'll see.
There's just hope during the press conference he doesn't hear the Rams players behind the curtain laughing about how much of a little baby he is getting hit anymore. I mean, come on, Superman, for crying out loud. You can defend bullets, you can leap buildings with a single bound, but you can't take a hit in the NFL?
He ain't proved to you yet. He can't do it either.
Ah, man.
He can't even play in the NFL.
Ah, man. Now,
on to college football.
College football. I got your first game, I got to be honest. And I put this on here simply because of the way Northwestern played Ohio State last week. Wisconsin's going Northwestern, and it's not a cakewalk. Even though Wisconsin has definitely been they're battle proved. They're good. They're real freaking good. But Northwestern, you just don't, it ain't like Northwestern anymore.
I don't need a Northwestern to upset my apple cart. That's all I
No,
can say. I
it's
thought
not-
Nebraska, had the opportunity.
This is not the same Northwestern that Mike Greenberg from Mike and Mike went to. That's for sure.
No, that was a pantywaist team. But anyway, I have to win every single game to
Yeah,
make a difference.
I think Wisconsin will win this.
Now Nebraska
That's the next one.
had an
Nebraska.
opportunity to change
Mhm.
the face of the Big 10, Big 12, Big 14, whatever it is now.
How about this? You got Nebraska going to Ohio State. They just had that wake-up call. This is going to be a good
And now
game.
get this, that's 10 against 6.
Yeah.
They have Ohio State 17-point favorites. Believe that?
No, I don't.
17.
I think it's bull. And I think that's going to be the problem right there. I think Nebraska's going to play with that. I do.
They've either lost by 3 or only won by 3, 2-3 weeks in a row or something like that?
I think that Ohio State may be a little overrated at this point. And I think this game, I think Ohio State, though, unfortunately, somehow, way or shape, will squeak this out. But this is not a set. Now, they're not going to win by no 17. This game's going to be close by 1 point, give or take.
And one thing I wasn't aware of because I wasn't following it, obviously you have Bama #1,
Yeah.
and they're playing LSU,
Mhm.
and I thought after the Les Miles ordeal that we wouldn't really be talking much about LSU until next year, but they're still ranked 13th.
Yeah, well, I think from what I was watching earlier this morning, it's the Bama defense, and Ken, for whatever reason, people are just still all over this LSU. What's his name? This Fournette or whatever his name.
Yeah.
This running back, they just love him. And apparently, if he ever wants to win the Heisman, the one hurdle he's got to get over, he's got to have not only a good game, but he's got to finally beat the Tide, which I have a hard time believing they're going to beat the Tide. This team is out of control. This team, Christ, they could be playing the NFL right now if they really wanted to.
Well, the good thing for LSU, they're in Baton Rouge. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't count it out, but I didn't think they had the offense to even stay at 13.
And then the last game I'm looking at is can they keep their Final Four dreams alive? This Washington team just seems to be hovering around them. Now, they're playing California, which is always can be a tricky game to play. But again, they're hovering around. What do you think? I mean, this team, can they make the Final Four?
I know.
Are they worth it?
Both of them. Washington and State have been in the top 20 all year.
But I'll tell you what, going back to your boys with Wisconsin, I sat and got to watch the Michigan State game. It's a shame because Wisconsin, they're right. It's a shame those three teams, there's not much damn difference.
Well, you see that it's actually reflected in the polls.
There's not.
Because I'm still 8.
There's not a damn thing. There's not one thing different. If they played each other like 3 times, yeah, it could go either way.
I'm still ranked 8 and I'm a 2-loss team.
Yeah.
So.
It's unbelievable. All right then.
Don't forget Notre Dame's playing Navy.
Are they still playing Notre Dame? I couldn't believe they beat Miami.
Now that's an up and down team right there. Navy, Navy got the notoriety for knocking
Yeah.
out Houston when they were top 5, and then tanked out in another game last week. I forget what it was, but now I think they're back out of the top 25.
I'm trying to figure out how come in the beginning of this year Notre Dame was getting this whole, national championship notoriety. Where?
Well, I can tell you why. They have a good team.
Where?
And they've had a good defense. Well, and this is what I always
They
say.
lost to Anashevsky's Duke basketball team. Football team.
You and the rest of the haters can say what they want, but Notre Dame plays the hardest schedule of any team every single year. Take it to the bank. We'll look it up.
I don't know, but
There's no nanny granny on their schedule.
no, They've always been good. I wish they would be good. I mean, because they help college football just like the rest of them, you know. But for whatever reason, I don't think they're not getting the kids. I mean, the kids seem to be going in certain directions. They need to figure out ways to get these kids to come there.
Well, that's what Kelly's done. He's brought them back.
He's got to keep working on it because well, they'll get there maybe eventually. But so, what's your going home present to our sport fans out there? What do you got to tell them?
108 years of misery is over.
Ah, yes it is. The Cubs. You gotta love it. Everybody, enjoy your weekend and have a great
Green Bay.
Sunday. Go Cubs.